The matrix is a term used to refer to societal structures and practices within those structures that are considered normative but are actually insane. Hi, I'm Anne-Katrin and I am occasionally awake. I'm here to help you experience your own occasional awakenings and learn to embrace the time in between. Welcome to my channel. An awakening is a shift in perspective and in perception that either shakes up our visible world or reveals to us the invisible. See, this channel and my work are not about the awakening. I actually have quite a loose definition of being awake, not out of randomness, but because I needed to find a way to sum up all experiences of awakenings that I've had myself under one term, because they were all kind of connected and similar, but very, very different from one another. So, here are the 4 types of awakenings that you can distinguish in order to better understand your past experiences, evaluate them more accurately, and also to know what you can hope and expect to experience in the future. Awakening to the ego self, awakening to the matrix, awakening to the conscious self, and awakening to now experience. Now, the first 2 types of awakenings are what I refer to as knowledge awakenings or awakenings of the mind. And they do have some things in common. They relate to 3D consciousness, or the visible world as we perceive it with our 5 senses. They are experiences of the mind. Because they are experiences of the mind, they come in the form of new information, new knowledge. The awakening to the ego self and to the matrix comes like a light bulb shooting through our system. It is the epiphany or aha moment that we experience once the knowledge of ourselves or of the society, culture we live in, or an aspect of those, is challenged and ultimately adjusted. An awakening to the ego self or to the matrix calls for an adjustment. This can mean that we need to adjust our relation to an other, no matter if that other is a person or a concept. This can also be to adjust our own biography, our life story. Our biography is the web that our identity is made of. And our identity literally is our ego. Biography equals identity equals ego. That's all that it is. See, they are all connected. Awakening to the ego self means waking up to new knowledge and information about your own identity configuration. Understanding why you are the way you are. Seeing your hopes and dreams and fears and values in a new light. Understanding cause and effect. This type of awakening is often caused and or enhanced by therapy and coaching. We all have our blind spots, and sometimes it takes another person, an outside perspective, to make us realize the obvious. This does not mean that we need professionals to experience this kind of awakening. It's just one possibility that is quite common. To know and understand tools of self-inquiry and self-reflection, as well as some deep talk with friends and family, can lead us to surprising insights every now and then. The next type of awakening is awakening to the matrix. The matrix is a term used to refer to societal and or cultural structures and practices within those structures that are considered normative but are actually insane. Looking closely and gaining new information on it, you're like, okay, this is considered normal. That's odd. It is really odd that this is considered normal. When we as an individual wake up to the matrix, this can come as quite the shock, especially if we are the first or the only ones in our surroundings to experience this kind of revelation. This usually means we approach other people in our lives and tell about our experience and go like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that everybody, and they go like, But what do you mean? It's totally normal. We all do it. Their authority is often automated, meaning that their relevance, their power, and their naturalness is not often questioned by a lot of individuals participating in those same structures. They appear logical, self-evident, and without any alternative. The third and fourth type of awakening that I refer to as awakening to the conscious self and to now experience also have a few things in common. They are related to 5D higher consciousness. They are related to the invisible world. Now let's continue with the third type of awakening, which is awakening to the conscious self. Awakening to the conscious self means learning about and experiencing our own body-mind-spirit connection. With this type of awakening, we gain insights into the invisible world. One of the main aspects of waking up to the conscious self is to become aware of the existence, truth, and accuracy of certain modalities that are considered spiritual or esoteric. Waking up to the conscious self also relates to waking up to our own inner power, realizing our calling and purpose, realizing the synchronicities that we've experienced in our lives and that possibly we did not connect at the time, but looking back, we can see that there have been powers operating that are beyond the visible, beyond 3D consciousness. And there we tap into a new quality of our own power. For example, we might learn about spirit guides, manifesting, miracles, energy healing, synchronicities, life purpose. We might learn about astrology, tarot, energy modalities and energy work, enlightenment, channeling, NDEs, and on and on and on the list could go. These are just random examples. To give you just a tiny example of my own awakenings to the conscious self, I like to say I never believed in tarot until I tried it for fun and I kept pulling the same cards over and over again. This was a huge epiphany for me that gifted me with a new tool for self-discovery and guidance. Waking up to the conscious self feels empowering. It makes us realize that there are hundreds of ways at our own hands to figure out our own path, to be our own best guidance, to contribute to healing our own wounds. It can also give us an immense feeling of trust, not only in our own abilities, but also in the universe around us. What I refer to as the awakening to now experience is also referred to as enlightenment. It's like the awakening in capital letters. This type of awakening cannot really be compared to the other types of awakening because it does not involve the mind. In fact, it does the opposite. It dissolves the mind. It dissolves our thinking. Awakening to now experience means arriving in the present, right here, right now, to the degree where the here and the now, where time and space dissolve and leave you with the sweet nothing. As time and space dissolve in now experience, in the experience of capital letters awakening, what also dissolves is our thoughts, our judgment, our ego. In the awakening to now experience, there is no ego. There is no judgment, there is no thoughts, there is no expectation, there is no pressure, there is nothing. Being in now experience, you might find that something just clicks. You settle into that, space is not the right word, to yourself. You settle into yourself to a level you have not known before. It is its own category, and it is the most special, the most magical, the most sacred one. If you resonated with this, please like and subscribe. And if you want more insights on duality, non-duality, and the concepts in between, please visit me at occasionallyawake.com to enhance your own awakenings. Bye.